Okay, we're going to talk about how should you store meal preps to keep them fresh longer. This is one of the questions that a lot of people have because sometimes when you make food, put it in the refrigerator, it does not last very long. Now, I usually just like to do meal preps for maybe 3 or 4 days so that I can know that my food is fresh. Plus, also it gives me more time to enjoy it and also to add in other meals that I can rotate out if I am doing a 7 day meal prep or thereabouts. One of the first things you want to do to keep your meal preps fresh for as long as possible, I'm going to give you a few storage tips that can help you with this. Number one, you want to make sure that you're using airtight containers. If you want to keep your meal prep fresh, make sure that you're using airtight containers. I prefer the glass containers. These are very durable, they're reusable, and a good thing about them is they do not absorb odor like plastic does, and also they don't stain as much as plastic. Plus, they are microwavable and oven safe. You can use plastic containers. I use plastic containers. You want to make sure that you're getting the BPA free plastic containers. You want to make sure that the plastic containers you use are lightweight and convenient for transportation. Ensure that they are BPA free for safe food storage. And you can get glass or plastic containers from anywhere like Walmart, Target. You can order them from Amazon and some of the other places. Like I said, I prefer the glass. Now, new trend that you're seeing, people use a lot of mason jars, for their meal preps. Mason jars, these are great for salads and overnight oats. They help to keep the food fresh and it helps to keep the food organized. Um, I've been seeing a lot of I don't want to say salad recipes that are coming from TikTok, and they have been using a lot of the mason jars. I think one of them is a cucumber salad. It's supposed to be very, very good. I haven't tried it, but I have seen others try this. So, like I said, just make sure that you're using airtight containers. These can be glass, these can be plastic, or these can be mason jars, whatever your preference is. And you can get the containers, even some glass containers are sectioned off, and you can also get some of the plastic containers that are sectioned off also. You want to make sure that you're properly cool your foods before you are storing them. Before you store your foods after you do a meal prep, make sure that you let your foods cool down. You want to allow hot foods to cool to room temperature before sealing them and putting them in containers and putting them in the refrigerator. I usually just make sure that everything is cooled down. Then I will go ahead and put my food into the containers and put it into the refrigerator. This is going to help prevent condensation and also helps keep your food fresher longer. And also, you want to get shallow containers. Use shallow containers to cool the food quickly and evenly. Number three, make sure that you label and date your containers. Make sure that you label and date your containers. Clearly label what's inside each container if you can't see it, and date. Add the date when the food was prepared to make sure that you can keep track of the freshness of the food. And you can use labels that you get from the store. You can use just what I want to say, a reusable marker, but use whatever is convenient for you. And be sure and do this because you want to make sure that you're eating your foods in a timely manner after you do prep them. Store in the right places. That's number four. Refrigerator. Store meals that will be eaten within 3 to 4 days. If you're going to be eating your meal within 3 to 4 days, like I said, that's usually for how long that I have learned to do my meal preps in order to keep my food its freshest, is to store meals that will be eaten within 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator. For meals that need to last longer, you want to put them in the freezer. And you can keep things in the freezer for usually up to 3 months. easily. Make sure that you leave some space at the top of the containers after you put your food in because you want to allow for expansion when the food is freezing. Number 5, make sure that you divide your food into portions. Make sure that you divide your food into portions when you are prepping your food and placing it in the containers. For your single serving portions, portion your meals into single servings to make reheating easier and to avoid thawing and refreezing large batches. So freeze the amounts that you usually eat in a meal, a serving. That's what you want to have in a container because when you heat your meals up, you don't want to. Um, I don't want to say you don't want to heat more than you're going to eat because that would just be wasting the food. Number 6, you want to use vacuum sealers when you are preparing your food. Vacuum seal will remove air from the packaging and it helps to extend the shelf life of your meal and prevent freezer burn. Now you can get these vacuum seals everywhere also, you all. Amazon, you can buy them at the store and they are very, very handy and they help with your meal preps a whole lot. Um, Number 7, um, let's talk about some food storage options and food storage guidelines that can help you. For vegetables, make sure that you're storing your leafy greens with a paper towel to absorb excess moisture. Blanch and freeze vegetables that you don't plan to use within a few days and put them in the freezer. Proteins, cooked proteins like chicken, your beef, some people do tofu. This can all be stored in airtight containers also. Raw meat should be cooked within 2 days if stored in the refrigerator or frozen immediately. Also, reheat safely is number 8, the last of the things that you need to do with meal prepping. You want to make sure that you're thawing your foods out properly. Thaw your frozen meals in the refrigerator overnight or use a defrost setting on your microwave to do your thawing. Make sure that you're reheating your food evenly. Stir food halfway through reheating to ensure it heats evenly. Use microwave safe lids to avoid splatters also. Following these tips is going to help ensure that your meals stay fresh and safe for you to eat for as long as possible. Happy meal prepping.